I got another story. We did an hour, but I want to get another story from you because you always bring it up and we never talk about it. When the white
Okay.
boys mistook you for being Hugo Pinell. Explain where
Okay.
you was at and what happened.
All right. So when the van dropped me off in 1980 in Old Folsom, they drove me down into the pit. Old Folsom's a level 4. It's the last stop. The typical age of inmates that are there are from 50 up. It's an old man's prison. It's an old convict's prison. But since prison was starting to get more crowded and more of my generation was arriving, they said, well, we just can't save Old Folsom for the seasoned convicts anymore. We got to start sending the youngsters there. And so I was like the first wave of the youngsters starting to go. So I got there. They had this dude named Yellowhammer. He had been there 48 years. They had this white dude named Flea. He had been there 36 years. They had Greenwood. He had been there for a few years. They had all of these legends there. And I'm like, and they're all older than me, way older than me, at least. And I'm feeling young, and I'm like, wow, wonder why I should have stayed in Tracy with all the people my age. So I look like Hugo Pinell, and I don't know who Hugo Pinell is. I never heard of him. I heard of George Jackson. I heard of Fela Drummer. I heard of John Cluschetti. Some dudes I had heard of, but I never heard of him. So, and I didn't know that I looked like him. So when they put me on Fish Row in 3 building on the 5th tier, I got to come down and go into the chow hall. So I guess when I'm going down and going into the chow hall, coming back, the ABs are looking at me, thinking I'm Hugo Pinell. It started probably that early. And then by the time I get my row and they assign me to building 1, which had the 100-foot ceiling, outside, the highest building, the block, the big block, where they had Shoot 2, which wasn't even in existence at that time. They put me over there. So as I'm going in, yard recall. It's yard recall. So they say, you're going up to the 4th tier. You're assigned to this cell. If you don't know your way there, ask somebody. So I come out of the building, and I'm like, damn, man, I'm going to that old building over there. So I just walk straight across. So I get over there, and then I see a brother, and I said, hey, man, look at this. You know where I'm going? He says, yeah, I show you. Shows this dude out of San Diego. So he said, bro, walk through there and go up them steps. Because they hadn't built the Shoot 2, so the back was still open. The other side, there was only one floor, that was PC, and that was all caged off. So I came up the steps all the way to the 4th tier, and this mean ass gunner on the catwalk, he was red-eyeing me, and he was just looking at me. And then I kind of like turned away, but I always heard if someone's staring at you and you turn away, that means you're scared. So I said, I'm not going to turn away. I looked at him and I started looking at him mean. And then he wasn't looking at me at all. He was just doing his job. So I'm tripping. So he just walked away. Now I'm by the center, and that one big old white dude comes on this side of me. Then the other one comes on the other side of me. Then the leader of AB's Big Blue, he got about some 19s. He came right there, and he's like, he sent Buzzard and the other AB up on me. So now they lean down, and Buzzard says something to the effect like, you Hugo Pinell? And I says, Hugo Pinell? I says, no, I'm Cutes, like that. And then the other AB says, you sure you're not Hugo Pinell? I says, what? He says, man, my name is Cutes, man, like that. And then Big Blue, he comes in and he looks at me and he says, my bad. And they just strolled off. Now, keep in mind, all of the gangs are in there. They see these gangs getting at me. They know I'm a brother, so they don't come up and help. They don't come up and say nothing. So then one dude, he comes up to me and he says, hey, bro, what did those dudes say to you? I said, they asked me, was that some dude they looking for named Hugo Pinell? And then the dude said, oh, man. He says, you know who that is? I says, no. Man, those dudes are this, and he's that. And they thought you was him. They was probably going to shank you like that. And I said, oh, yeah? And they said, yeah. I said, okay, I'm getting me a shank. So then that's when I got me a shank and shit. And that's when I realized that the dudes that I'm around is scary. So I ended up getting locked up going to 4A, and that's where Hugo Pinell is. That's where all of them dudes is at. And then they told me the story. They told me how they ended up in the hole. They told me how they got into it with the ABs. They told me the story of the brothers that's out there now. And then I told them my story, and they just started laughing. And then they sent me down a goodie bag. And then when it was time for me to go, John Clusetti said, you could be a Crip for as long as you want, bro. He says, don't trust them brothers out there. That's what he told me.
Yeah, because they didn't have your back. They probably was talking shit behind your back.
Well, they didn't like Hugo Pinell because the brothers didn't like him either.
Right,
the ones that were left out there.
Right.
They had sold out. They had sold out on him, but that's their business. But that's how I was in mistake. So I could have got killed, not even known. You know, that's how dangerous prison is. Sometimes, it happens to people on the street. You could be somewhere and someone can say, hey, man, that's so-and-so. And blah, blah, blah. Oh, man, now you killed the wrong person. That's not him. People are high. They don't know what they're seeing. And people are scary. They want to see a ghost.
Well, at least he apologized. He said he's bad. He made a mistake.
Oh, yeah. And later on, when I ended up getting into it with the white dudes at Tracy, and I got rolled up and I came back because the dude had took off on Big H, and then I revenged it. And when I got back to Folsom, now all the ABs is like, pulling up on me. And then they said, hey, Cutes, check it out, man. We need to holler at you. And I said, all right. So they sent Mike. But I'm strapped now. So Mike says, hey, Cutes, check it out, man. He says, what happened down in Tracy? So I explained to him what happened. And he said, well, that's what I heard. He said, then another one came. I said, I should just take off now. And then something said, no, don't take off right now. Just wait 1 second, wait a second. And if you got to do it, just do it. And then I said, all right, just listen to him. This was what the voice said inside my ear. And then Mike said, hey, kids, check this out, man. We already know what happened. And I said, okay. He says, then why is this dude, saying you started it? Why is this dude saying that you kicked it off? I said, who's the MF dude? And then he told me, and he says, all right. I said, all right. And then they just left.
Let me check this photo before I go. Oh, yeah, that's you in Soul Train. All
right. I'm not in no Soul Train line.
No.
Yeah.
Soul Train.
They have some pretty. Hey, James Miller told me. He said, yeah, Keith, he said, that Jody Watley used to like me, dog. I said, for real? He said, yeah. I said, well, where did you meet her? He said, remember when y'all would come up to Dorsey and have my back at the football games? I said, yeah. He said, she went to Dorsey. And then, because he kept his yearbook. So James Miller's in the yearbook. So he busted out his yearbook at Dorsey, and there was Jody Watley. And I was like, that's her right there. He said, yeah, man. I said, I didn't know. I said, well, no wonder why they were on Soul Train. All of these are girls out of the neighborhood. He said, yeah. And that was a trip. They all lived in the neighborhood. So she stayed by the jungle.
I'm not going to hold you, man. She stayed by the jungle or in the jungle?
Probably in the jungle.
I'm not gonna hold you, bro. Condolences, man. If y'all want to hit Cutes, His Cash App is $cute777. We got Cartoon tomorrow, same time. Cartoon, want to talk about a couple issues.
Sitting reminiscing about the